Welcome to Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulae for many. And this is what we aim to achieve with these sessions that are a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such personage on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Dr. Sivananda Reddy. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Dr. Reddy.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunny.
Dr. Reddy is an experienced Agile coach with about 2 decades of diverse experience in the field of information technology. Thus, he carries a lot of expertise, namely in training and coaching various roles such as Scrum Masters, Product Owners, Release Train Engineers, Agile Release Trains, Product Managers, Development Teams, DevOps Engineers and Leaders. His Agile mindset and coaching skills are backed by numerous certifications such as Agile HR Practitioner, SAFE POPM, SAFE Agilist, PSM I, Prince, Wellness Coach, Life Coach, MS, Counselling and Psychotherapy, NLP, CSTM, CSQA and CSTE. He is currently employed as Agile Coach at ANZ Support and Services Private Limited, where he is assisting the retail bank in its Agile Transformation journey. So, Dr. Reddy, could you please let our viewers know what inspired you early on in taking up computer science as your academic and professional pursuit, and how you came about earning a doctoral degree in the field?
Thank you so much, Sunny, for that wonderful introduction. So it's an interesting question, though. So just a little bit of my family background. I'm the youngest in my family. So I have 4 siblings, and 3 of them chose biological sciences, and 1 of them chose arts. At the time, computer science was gaining more popularity, right, in 1980s. Then my parents and brothers thought that, computer science could be a better option for me, as I have a mathematics background. So that's how I got into the computer science stream, and I earned my bachelor's in 1998 and my master's in the year 2001. Soon after, I worked as a computer science lecturer, for a couple of years, and taught various subjects to graduates and postgraduates. But I remember in 2003, I realized the potential of computer science as the IT boom was picking because of globalization, and I decided to move from teaching field to the information technology. Yeah. So I've started my career, IT career in 2003, and played various roles since then for 2 decades. I can proudly say that I was actually the brand ambassador for computer science in my hometown, where I inspired many students to make it as a academia and then as well as their career. Right? In the meanwhile, I continued my studies parallelly, and I earned my double post-graduation degree from Allahabad Agricultural University in Information Technology, and was also conferred with a doctorate recently. So the journey has been, very challenging and exciting, Sunny. I've enjoyed a lot, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And I can say that, computer science is really changing the lives of the people in many ways.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Reddy, apart from your interest in the field, what else has kept you interested in it?
See, Sunny, as the old saying goes, necessity is the mother of the invention.
Right.
If you see computer science and technology, are evolving by leaps and bounds to address various challenges that we are facing today. And I'm sure they will evolve further and impact our lives in many ways. So if you look at me, I belong to Generation X, and in my life so far, I've seen a complete transformation in the field of governance, medicine, communication, media, entertainment, and so on and so forth. For instance, let's look at the banking sector. I remember, right, very well when I used to go to bank to withdraw money, right, writing those withdrawal checks and stand in the queue before the teller, waiting for my turn to, collect the money. But now, the banking sector, right? So actually banks are embracing technology to give digital experience to their customers. And also I used to, kind of landline phones a lot in the beginning of my career, where we used to have those calls, right, over the landline phones, and then the landline phones are transformed into VoIP phones, right? And now you can attend, your meetings smartly using your smartphones, right? So what amuses me is that the way the technology is emerging, evolving, and transforming lives manifold. So this is the one thing that is actually helping me to explore more and kept me moving to understand how the technology is going to kind of transform our lives going forward as well. So that's kind of a motivation for me.
Okay. So how have you charted your career path ahead in the field of the implementation of agile practices?
So very powerful question, because I'm right now in the field of agile world. So see, Sunny, the beauty of agility is the ability to respond, the ability to adapt the changes, right? If you look at the world around us, it is constantly changing. Let's say you are changing, I'm changing, and everybody's changing. The only thing that is permanent is a change, as we all know, right?
Right.
So I have made a conscious decision to take a leap into the world of agile, because it's a more of a direction rather than an end. All in all, it's a kind of a mindset to be adopted by everyone. Otherwise, we will never evolve to our fullest potential. Because as Charles Darwin says, right, fittest to the survival, right? So I think we need to kind of look around and see what is changing, and then we need to adapt and embrace, right, what actually is relevant for us, right, in changing times. In fact, the other thing is the agile practices have been defined in such a way that, so these practices are not just intended to develop a piece of software,
Okay,
but also transform people, processes, and technology in many ways. However, if you look at the, nowadays, many organizations are focusing just on technology transformation rather than utilizing these practices to transform the entire ecosystem. So, as you mentioned in my introduction, currently I'm working with, one of the leading Australian bank to transform the way it's working, right? But by nurturing the agility with a growth mindset in the capacity of Agile Transformation Coach. And I could foresee for sure the need for most organizations to embrace the agile mindset and practices to flourish by providing an awesome customer experience. I would say agile is the only way forward, my dear Sunny, period.
Absolutely, Dr. Reddy. So how and when did you develop an interest in ESG?
Oh yeah, that's very interesting question though. Interesting, developed an interest on, ISG, right? So, I developed an interest in ESG when I happened to know about two incidents. One is unfortunate one, so that every Indian knows about it. The UCIL incident, which happened in Bhopal, right?
Right.
When thousands of people died and 500,000 people suffer from, respiratory problems. They've gone blind. and other maladies and other health issues due to the toxic chemical leakage. So that was referred to as the worst industrial accident in the history. So the investigations later found that and concluded that standard operating and safety procedures at the understaffed plant had led to the catastrophe, right? So that was very unfortunate to have. The other incident is about Dr. Vittal Kamath, right? He is an owner of Orchid Hotels. So he was invited to present, about his hotels and then his philosophy, his vision, how he is transforming the hotel industry. And he actually presented a presentation about his hotels, but he didn't have any audio background. And he had presented a wonderful video. Everybody loved it. And then the video ends with a quotation saying that he wanted to kind of build hotels which is absolutely eco-friendly. He doesn't want to spoil environment in any way, right? So, right, Dr. Vittal Kamath, has kind of a restaurator who actually envisioned and then, a visionary in building those eco-hotels, which are very, eco-friendly, where, you feel that, you are amidst of the nature, right? So that when I think, these two incidents, one is unfortunate and one is, in a positive one, in a way that, not spoiling the environment, but giving the best of best customer experience. And that said, these incidents made me a little intrigued, and I started exploring whether there is any governance body, right, that defines the policies or standards for organizations to give due consideration to the environment and social well-being, while building the sustainable businesses. So I have decided to be part of a governance body where I can help organizations to build eco-friendly businesses, because I strongly believe that ESG is critical in building a conscious business, by taking into account the environmental and social impact of business and promoting ethical practices. And businesses can create a positive impact on the world, as we all know. So this is not only the benefits the society and the environment, but it also benefits the businesses by creating a positive reputation, attracting investors and customers who prioritize responsible and sustainable practices. I think that's the motto behind being a part of WDC, and then understand what ESG means, and then how can I be a part of ESG body where I can add value to the building the conscious businesses.
Rightly said, Dr. Reddy. So how have technologies altered the course of the agile business frame industry, and how can upcoming technologies, namely IoT, big data, AI, ML, blockchain, Web 3.0, etc., be helpful in mainstreaming agile transformation?
Interesting. So, as I said earlier, agile is a philosophy and mindset that every organization needs to embrace it. See, Sunny, everything moves in the digital age. Be it a customer desires, competitive threats, technology choices, business expectations, revenue opportunities, workforce demands, etc., etc. So the only solution for organizations to face the VUCA world is to adopt business agility. How it's going to help? It's going to help them to compete and thrive, right, in the digital age by quickly responding to the market changes and then customer demands. See, when it comes to technology, you can expect a lot of transformation. That's the software portion of it. If you look at the entire ecosystem, now you have a software, and hardware is the kind of a people and then processes. Now, without operating system, your software and the hardware is not going to function, right? So I would perceive Agile implementation is a kind of a modus of operandi, right? So which connects these hardware and as well as software seamlessly. and in turn is going to deliver the business outcomes much faster with absolute ease and by satisfying the customer needs. So I think that's where I strongly feel that every organization, every technology would need to clasp the agile way of working, to continuously evolve further and be relevant and flourish.
Beautifully said. So, Dr. Reddy, since you are now an ESG certified corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
Oh, absolutely. I think, this is, I feel that it's a big responsibility, being a part of ESG governance body. And I aspire to add value, being a part of the board is that enable organizations to follow ethical practices that can create a positive impact. Secondly, developing an ESG strategy and advising clients on how well they adhere to these practices and, whether any areas which needs further action. Thirdly, monitoring how well or, not the client's own internal policies and procedures are being implemented. And finally, conducting ESG risk analysis of current investments to identify areas for divestment and as well as investments, right? So it is important for all of us to understand the social, environmental impacts by the businesses that we conduct. So if we have a bit of common sense, right, when we are dealing with the people lives and then well-being, we need to make sure that the right policies and the procedures are in place. And also we need to validate the certainty of these policies and then standards when there are risks, when we expose to the risks. So these are the standards and procedures are going to kind of protect us having any potential loss.
Absolutely. Dr. Reddy, we are building the global thought leaders community for cross-pollination of knowledge and a community of independent directors for having a better corporate governance in the country. What are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by the WTC team?
Yeah, I really appreciate the efforts by the WTC toward building a community of independent directors. I am fortunate to have to be part of the Independent Directors program, which actually helped me to build my competence in corporate governance. In fact, I think, Sunny, there is a dire need, right, for such initiatives to increase the awareness of corporate governance in the country and across industries. The reason being, so corporate governance in the country known by very few people, right? So 90% of the people, I would say, that do not know about it, right?
Right.
So because, they think that, okay, so which is not intended to us. Let's say, for example, if you consider me as an employee, so I belong to Agile coach space. I know I deliver coaching and then ensure that, people are delivering what it matters. But then at a broadly, so I don't understand how the entire business functions, right? How the entire organization functions. So is it doing good to the society? Is it doing good to the environment that we live in? So unless you get exposure to these sort of initiatives where you understand, various policies, procedures that are laid out for the organizations to build a conscious businesses. So it is very difficult to kind of to be part and then play an important role, right? So we could avoid, a UCL incident. We could avoid, many such incidents in the future, right? If we know what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, right, by the organizations, right? So as I said, I think, there is a very much demand and need to actually bring that awareness within the employees, especially of the organizations, just not only the information technology, but then, various industries, to know and then aware of the policies and standards in support of the entire ecosystem, right, which will protect the environment and looks, it looks after the people's well-being as well, right? So, that is what I think, I proudly say that, WTC team is doing a lot of, a good job and putting a lot of efforts, right, in bringing such awareness.
Great. That was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire the future leaders. Thank you, Dr. Sivananda Reddy, for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Sunny. It's lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Moreover, trust that these initiatives by Directors Institute unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.
Thank you so much. Pleasure talking
Thank
to you.
you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. To you too. Bye.
Bye.